Dave here with Half Dozen Customs. It's been several days since I did any filming, but I've been super busy working out in the shop. As you can see, we got the bed back over here on the stand that I made. Worked great. We were able to, roll it from one property to the next through gravel and everything, and no problems. I put strap hooks on there. We wrapped one strap around it from corner to corner and rolled it on over here. So I did a little work on my station wagon that showed up a few months ago. It's been probably 10 years since that thing's had a front end on it. So I finished up the front end and got that primered and got that kind of installed back on the car. It's just kind of sitting on there, not really bolted up or bolted together yet, but at least when I walk outside I can see the front end on it. It's been so long since I've seen a front end on it, it looks weird to me. So hopefully it'll grow on me. You guys will get to see it in another video, but it's a fully custom made front end, only one like it in the world. So I got that done, got that primed, got that installed. We had family over this weekend, so I did get a little bit of work done this weekend, but not a lot. Still did, some cleaning and some rearranging around the shop and getting stuff kind of situated. I think the last thing that I videoed was the bench grinder. I made that stand for that bench grinder, so that was the last thing that I videoed. But while I got this back in here last week, and then I did that bumper. I had already had it in my head to do the bumper before this thing got back, and it kind of showed up right at the start of the bumper. Actually, it showed up right when I was pulling the bumper down out of the attic. So my mindset was on that. So I got that to the point where I wanted it, and then I got back on this last night, and I went through, I cleaned up all the hot spots that were on it, because it's been sitting in bare metal for, quite some time now, so I had hot spots all over it. And then while my buddy had it, he's doing a test fit on the new motor and whatnot over there, he pressure washed like the whole undercarriage of it. He's got a lift over there, so, he pressure washed the undercarriage and pressure washed out the inside of the cab and pressure washed the engine compartment out. So he had, gotten water all over the bare metal. No big deal, but it caused some more rust to happen, which just hot spots. It was all surface rust. I sandblasted anything where the welds were. I sandblasted again in between the seams. And then I ran over the rest with my burnishing tool and got that all cleaned up. I remounted the fender because there was new metal put in here. There was no holes for the fender. So I had two holes in this lower frame, so I could mount it up and I knew where it needed to go. So I was able to mount it with those two bolts and mark the other holes, and I got that drilled. Got this reinstalled, and then I stripped the fender last night. And again, with this fender, it was coated top to bottom, front to back with the thinnest part was probably maybe an 1/8 inch thick Bondo. There's even Bondo in between where it mounts to the bed. So next time I have the fender off, I got to strip the inside where it actually mounts to the bed, because you can see that the Bondo is like an 1/8 inch thick in there. Again, whoever whoever built this truck before, you know, it looked like it looked good at one point in time, and it lasted a long time. But his concept of Bondo was quite amazing. So, but I found, you know, there's some dings in it here and there. It looks like there was, I don't know, maybe a rip in here. There was some rust. They got some welds in here, some hammer marks. It's pretty beat up. But other than that, I don't, you know, there's a little something going on back here that looks like there was some welds done. But other than that, I mean, there's, you know, a handful of small dings in it and a couple of spots that look like there's been some welding work done. There was really no reason to have an 1/8 inch thick Bondo over the whole thing. So again, I probably knocked 10 pounds off of the thing. So got it quite a bit lighter, but I think next what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work on so this is the welding work that somebody did in here. You can see it's kind of got a little cave and pave action. You can see where all the low spots are, where I went in and sandblasted just to get the Bondo out of there because my grinder wouldn't fit in the low spots. So I think I'm gonna start with, we'll cut this out, we'll put a new piece in here. Though I could probably weld up this little hole, you know, weld up maybe a couple of these little spots that I'm not happy with, and we could let it fly. You know, it's not super far off, but you know, that's just ugly metal that doesn't need to be there. So I'm gonna cut that out, put a new piece of metal in there. And then we got this work back here. This is back where it mounts to the bed side. I don't know what was going on there. What I have a feeling what was going on there is that these side pieces that are here, mind my plastic, from the factory, they actually have one that goes down here as well, and I bet the fender mounts there, you can see there's some rust on there, and then they got something welded up. So I would bet that there's a bolt that goes from the inside of the fender up to this piece that goes here from the factory. So that's what that is. I'll cut that out. We'll put a new piece of metal in it because it does have some rust and rot with a nasty boogery weld in the middle. And then the only real spot that I found rust-wise that we need to fix is right here next to the bowl hole. We got some pinhole action there that kind of poked through when I sandblasted all this. Right here is where the step, so that you can step up to get inside the back of the bed there, the step mounts right there. So it's, you know, two pieces of metal that get pinched together, you know, and collect dirt and mud and muck and whatever, and it just sits in there. So common spot for them to rot out. The other side's way worse, but this side's not bad. So there's also, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but they had something covering this section so that it covered the rot and rust on the other fender that's over there. So they put it over here too, so it matched. And it was just a black piece of textured aluminum that they had riveted across to hide the rust hole on the other side. So I need to knock those rivets out and weld up those holes. So I think that's where I'm gonna start next, is getting that done. I want to get this fender. I want to get this fender done and situated. Once I get everything welded up, we'll bring it over to my steel workbench over there, and I'll work on some of these dings and dents that are in here, and we'll get them hammered out from the inside, just so that we have a little less Bondo. And then I need to make this piece that goes in here, we're gonna make some that match these. These are not factory, they don't match the factory ones, but we're gonna make one to match these and put it back in the center here. For one, it'll cover up this welded seam that they have in here, and for two, it'll look a little more factory. So we'll get that, that'll get done as well before I pull this fender. Well, maybe not before, but somewhere in between doing all this fender, we're going to get that done as well. So I'm trying to get this side kind of wrapped up and ready for body work before I continue to move on with the other side. There is a panel that comes down here on this lower section, front and back. The back ones are okay, they're factory. The ones in the front, somebody made them out of aluminum. I believe it's aluminum, but it's an old Arctic Cat sign. It says Arctic Cat on the back of it. I got a piece of sand or something in my eye. So I got to remake these pieces. We're just going to take some not cardboard, paperboard, artboard, whatever. The big white poster board, that's it, poster board. We're going to take some poster board. I'll lay it over the Arctic Cat one. We'll trace it out. We'll cut them out of poster board, and then we'll lay it on a new piece of metal. We'll cut it out. We'll put the bend in it. Drill some holes in it so it mounts back into its proper place. And I believe I'm going to make it for both sides. I haven't really looked at the passenger side yet. I don't know if that was factory or not. Yep, it looks like it's factory. So this one I may not have to remake. This one looks factory. It looks like it's in decent shape, just maybe some sandblasting. So these are the ones that go in the back. They do need some work. I can see there's some Bondo on there. They need some little hammer and dolly work. They're a little bent, twisted out of shape, but nothing that we can't take care of. So, but this one, yeah, definitely aluminum, and you can see that it was made out of an old Arctic Cat sign. And this goes, this goes under here like so. So this is a no-go. So we'll make a new one of this. So, and it'll be nice and pretty. But so that's what I need to do to pretty much wrap up this side. Finish up this fender over this next week. We'll work on it this next week. We gotta make the centerpiece. Hopefully, maybe we'll get to that this next week. Either the centerpiece or this lower piece. We'll get to it this week. Maybe both, maybe all of it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how things go. But so yeah, and then I'm gonna work my way around the back before I get to the other side. When I did these patches back here in the back, we had to cut off the way that they pin the tailgate closed, so I got to weld those back in place. I'm just going to clean them up. We're going to weld them back in place, back where they belong. And then I'll probably take that tailgate off. We'll get that cleaned up and sandblasted and ready to go. We'll clean up the whole back section, like underneath where the rear bumper was sitting, and along the back top bed sides, like where the taillights mount and everything like that. We'll get all that cleaned up before I start on the other side. So originally when I started this thing back in February, I think it was end of February, we started this. Most vehicles that I try to do, I try to get them all in bare metal so I can do a photo shoot and whatnot of it all in bare metal. I get it all stripped down to bare metal. I put the whole vehicle back together. We get the rims on it. We get it all cleaned up, looking nice and pretty, and I pull it outside, out on the property here in a nice looking spot, and we do like a photo shoot of it all in bare metal. And I was really hoping to do that with this one. But there is just so much to this thing. You know, I started at the front of the vehicle on the driver's side. We pretty much got that all in bare metal. And then I came back here to the bedside, and we started getting this all in bare metal. And everything flashed, everything's got hot spots, it's got little surface rust all over it. Just in the, you know, the few months that I worked on this driver's side, I just don't see a possible way of me being able to get it all done, and then we'd have to just chase around everything constantly to keep all the flash rust off of it. I'm just starting to see that it's going to be a waste of my time to try and keep this thing clean on a constant basis. Because there's just so much, there's so many nooks and crannies and crevices and welds and, you know, multiple pieces, and there's just a lot to it. So what we're going to do here is I'm gonna work around the bed, and we're going to get this bed done. I'm going to get it body worked. We'll get it primed. I'll block out all the primer. We'll get a second run of primer on it, and then it's going to get parked off to the side while we bring the cab back in here and get the cab going. So I just don't want this thing to sit in bare metal for, you know, 2 months or whatever while I get the cab finished. It'll just be all surface rust again. So unfortunately, I think this one, you know, I'll get everything primed, we'll get it put back together, and I'll take some photo shoots of it in primer, and then we'll blow it apart and start painting. But that's months down the road. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do the sheet metal photo shoot with this one. There's just way too much. So yeah, so I think that's where we're going with this right now, is just to you know, keep moving forward. But I'm gonna grab a cutoff wheel, and we'll get this section cut out. I'll see if I should have some little pieces left from previous cuts that I should be able to make a patch for this. We'll see if we can get a patch made and possibly tacked in place here right now. So hopefully I didn't talk too much. Looks like we're at like 18 minutes of me blabbering. So let's get to work and get some work done here. Thanks for joining us. Safety first.
Safety first and teamwork.
That'll be close. Let's take a look. So I ran it through the roller. I know that this isn't going to be enough, but it gets us started. So let me run it through a couple more times, and then I'm gonna try and find I'll try and find some kind of bar or pipe or something that fits in here. Actually, you know what? I have. This guy will be perfect. My round dolly. So probably put him in a vise and we'll bend him around that. I bet he'll be perfect. Pretty close. That'll get us there. So I just stuck that bar in a vise and just pushed with my hand. Getting there pretty close. You know, you can see we're getting really close to what I cut out of there. Now it seems like there's a good sized dent through here as well, so I just laid this in there, put a mark, I'll cut it, it'll be close. I left it a little fat, but it'll be easier to shape. I think what I'll probably end up doing is, because there's a fold under that goes in here, and then there's a curve over this way, and then it curves this way as well. So I think that we'll get it so that it fits in there. We'll get some tacks in going up, and then we'll start hammering and dollying and getting it folded over the rest of the way that we need. We're very close with this. And then I'll probably come from the inside and we'll cut up through here and trim off the top, whatever we need to do. So. If it doesn't work, I'll just make a new one. Oh, I cut way too much off. Don't. Yeah, I gotta leave it a little wider, and I think our lower edge here, I need to leave that a little wider as well, and I think I need to put a little shrink in there so we can get a slight curve in there. So, no big deal. All right, let's try that again. about doing it in 2 pieces. I don't want to do that. Starting to get a little curve in there. So with running it through the shrink stretcher, I'm sure there's a better way to do this, and I'm just not, my mind is not working at the moment. Too hot. What am I missing? I may just have to do this in a couple pieces here. It's not exactly how I wanted to do it. One piece would have been nice, but I think to get this curve in here, that's looking pretty good. I wish I could get this line a little crisper. So all I was doing over there on the table was just trying to make this line just a tad bit crisper. Maybe what I should have done is I should have put it in my brake instead of using the 3-in-1. Because that 3-in-1 doesn't do like a super hard crisp line, because it smashes it like this instead of doing a fold. But I think we'll be okay. The little hammer and dolly, I got it to sit a little tighter, so. Stock moving around on the other side of the shop by itself. They even have Bondo on this inside lip. Unbelievable. So now you guys can see, if you guys, for those of you who watched my my cart build, we're up pretty high. I talked about it in the cart build that I was worried that it was going to be a little high, and I had some ideas to make some interchangeable top leg parts. Now you can see why why I was talking about that. No, it's not a big deal. I got my stool, you know, I'm not having to stand. I can still sit here. You know, last night I had to get in the bed to do a little sandblasting to clean up some of the hot spots. Now, that I didn't really care for, being up so high and being in the back of that bed, but I left the welder on. Left the gas on the welder. I know I just made a piece of metal for that. Where'd it go? Glasses are fogging up on me. That's how humid it is out here. I can't see what the heck I'm doing. Looks good. Okay, so you know, it's just tacked in place at the moment. I just got a couple tacks in there. But I think it looks pretty good. Definitely better than that whooped piece that was in there. Where did that go? So I was holding this up to the camera earlier, but my compressor was running, so I didn't say anything. Look how thick this lip is. Just supposed to be, you know, as thin as the sheet metal. It is complete weld through there. It is just, you know, and the metal on each side of it was okay. So, but yeah, somebody did some booger welding through there to try and weld this lip up. I don't know if this lip was rotted out at one point in time, probably, and they just filled it with weld. But that is definitely much nicer. I will have very little filler there cleaning that up. So I think much better, mucho better. So it is just way too hot out here. It's getting late too. It's 10:30 at night. It's Sunday. And all the wives got to be up early for work, so I am going to call it a night, and we will come out. We'll come out tomorrow and assess the situation. I'll assess the situation, and I'll make a top piece for this. So, like I said, I don't know if you guys can see it in the camera, but there's kind of like a line. It starts over here and there's a line. You can see where the Bondo was in that line. So it got a crease going along the top here at one point in time that they filled with Bondo. So before I weld this top curved piece in, now that we got it one piece and it's solid again, I think I'll come in here with a dolly, and we'll try and, because there's actually, I can see it in the metal when I look across, there's actually a flat spot. So I'm gonna try and tap and put that curve back in there. This side's still got the nice curve to it. This side starts to curve, goes flat, and then curves again down into the flat portion of this. So I'll try and tap that up a little bit tomorrow, get that curve back in there, and then we'll make a piece of fit in there and get that all welded up. So you know, I think anything that I do to it is going to be better than what they had before. So but we'll get this piece in tomorrow morning, and then we'll make a piece for my little rust hole down there, and then we'll have to take the fender back off to do this piece that's back here. So just threw this little scrap piece through the roller just to get a bend started. So I think this will work here. We just gotta, I said last night that I was gonna try and hammer up on this a little bit. Actually, the way that I got this through the roller, it almost fits perfectly with the little crease in there, but let's take a look and see if we can knock that out a little bit. Using my flat edge hammer here, and just got a little dolly, and I'm gonna just try and smack up where I can see this crease at. Much better. Just doing a little hammer and dolly in there. When you run it through, at least with my slip roller, I don't know if all slip rollers do it. That slip roller's fairly new to the team here, so but when you go to put it in, you know, it takes kind of a second for it to catch between all three rollers, and when it does it kind of puts a crease in it. And then once you get it started, it's fine, but it's just that initial start. Okay, this time I'm gonna cut on the outside of the line. Last night, it was hot, I was tired. I cut right on the line with the first patch. Not that the first patch would have even worked, because I ended up having to do it in the two pieces. But I cut it way too short the first time, so let's sneak up on it. Well, as you can see, it fits the hole. Okay, looks good, feels good. Would have been nice if we could have got it in one piece, but that just wasn't happening. So, but 2 pieces, it's in. I got the curve this way that I needed. You know, we got the lip curve here. We got the curve here. I think everything looks good to me. Let's get this welded in. We got it all welded up. Pretty good. Start grinding. I had one little spot where it started to want to move. I had to just hammer and dolly it kind of back in place right here on this corner. But other than that, everything looked good. Okay, so we got it all welded up, we got it grinded up, I got it sanded in some 80. So, you know, what we had there before to what's there now. You know, this was somebody's highly boogered mess with the welder. So nice and clean now. I still got to weld up under this lip here, but I'll do that when it's off and on the table. A lot easier than trying to weld it upside down. So, but that's it. Another patch done. So, like I said, I'll weld up underneath when I get it on the table. I think next we're gonna work on. One of those is a bowl hole, but the one next to it is rust. So we'll cut him out next. And we'll get a new piece of metal in there, get him cleaned up. And then I'll pull it off. I got a small patch I gotta do at the top. And when we have it off for that patch, I'll weld the underside of that lip. And then we'll bang out a couple of these dents while it's on the table. And then this fender will be done and ready. And we can move on to the next step, which I'll figure that out when we get to it. But thanks for joining us. See you in a little bit.